Welcome, gentle traveller, to the edge of the world, where land yields to the embrace of the boundless sea. Here, at the meeting place of earth and water, a solitary lighthouse rises from the rocks, its beacon a silent promise to all who wander the waves. Tonight, let us drift together through the slow, rhythmic hours of a lighthouse keeper's day. Imagine the air, cool and tinged with salt, the hush of dawn broken only by the distant cry of gulls and the gentle hush of surf. The lighthouse stands as it has for generations, steadfast and unchanging, a guardian whose light has guided countless souls through storm and stillness. As we begin this journey, allow your breath to settle, matching the rise and fall of the ocean's eternal tide. Let the worries of the day recede, replaced by the tranquil certainty of the lighthouse's glow. Each chapter of this story will be a gentle wave, carrying you further from the noise of the world and deeper into the peaceful rhythms of life by the sea. The sky above is a vast canvas, painted in soft pastels of lavender, rose, and pale gold. The first light of dawn creeps slowly, touching the tips of jagged cliffs and the crests of gentle waves. The air is filled with the scent of salt and seaweed, mingled with the faint aroma of damp earth and wildflowers growing along the rocky shore. The soundscape is a symphony of nature's quiet moments, the distant call of a lone gull, the rhythmic lapping of waves against weathered stones, the whisper of a gentle breeze weaving through the grasses. Each sound is a note in the melody of morning, inviting calm and reflection. The lighthouse itself is a monument to endurance and care. Its thick stone walls, worn smooth by centuries of wind and rain, stand firm against the elements. The spiral staircase inside winds upward like a slow heartbeat, leading to the lantern room, where the great glass lens waits to be tended. As you settle into this tranquil world, feel the steady pulse of the ocean beneath you, the timeless rhythm of tides and time. Let your mind drift like a boat on calm waters, carried by the gentle current of this story. The first light of dawn creeps softly across the horizon, painting the world in gentle hues of lavender and gold. The sea, still touched by the cool breath of night, shimmers beneath a sky not yet fully awake. Within the thick stone walls of the lighthouse, the keeper stirs, roused not by alarm or urgency, but by the subtle shift of light and the ancient rhythm of the tides. The keeper's quarters are simple, yet comforting. A sturdy bed crafted from driftwood and worn smooth by years of use. A small wooden table bearing the marks of countless meals and letters written. Shelves lined with weathered books whose pages hold the wisdom of the sea and a handful of cherished mementos. The air is tinged with the faint scent of salt and oil, a reminder of the night's vigil, mixed with the comforting aroma of old wood and the lingering warmth of yesterday's fire. Rising slowly, the keeper stretches, feeling the cool flagstone beneath bare feet, stones quarried from the very cliffs that surround this place, each one a piece of the earth's ancient story. Outside, the world is quiet, save for the distant call of seabirds beginning their morning hunt, and the gentle sigh of waves against the rocks. A sound as constant as breathing, as reliable as the turning of the earth. The first task of the day is as old as the lighthouse itself, extinguishing the beacon that has burned through the long, dark hours. This ritual connects the keeper to every guardian who has climbed these stairs before, each one carrying the sacred duty of tending the light. Climbing the narrow spiral staircase, each step echoing softly in the stone chamber, the keeper ascends toward the lantern room. The walls, thick and cool, are dappled with the shifting light of dawn, creating patterns that dance and fade like memories. At the top, The great glass lens stands silent, its facets catching the first rays of morning and scattering them in tiny rainbows across the curved walls. This lens, a marvel of 19th century craftsmanship, was shaped by artisans who understood that light could be bent, focused, and sent across vast distances to guide the lost and weary home. With practiced hands, weathered by salt air and countless tasks, the keeper turns the brass key, lowering the wick and snuffing the flame. The beacon's glow fades gradually, replaced by the growing light of day. For a moment, the keeper lingers, gazing out across the endless blue. The sea stretches to the horizon, calm and infinite, its surface broken only by the slow drift of kelp forests swaying in the current, and the fleeting shadow of a passing gull riding the morning thermals. Next comes the morning log, a tradition as sacred as the lighting of the beacon itself. At a small desk beside the window, positioned to catch the best light, the keeper opens a thick, leather-bound book. The pages are filled with careful script, a record of weather patterns, tide heights, and passing ships, each entry a thread in the tapestry of maritime history. Today, the air is cool and clear, the wind gentle from the southwest, carrying with it the promise of fair weather. The keeper notes the time with precision, the temperature as measured by an old brass thermometer, the height of the tide as observed from the window, and the colour of the sky. A ritual as meditative as prayer, as essential as breathing. With the formalities complete, the keeper prepares a simple breakfast, bread baked days before in the lighthouse's small oven, its crust still firm and its interior soft and fragrant. A slice of hard cheese aged in the cool cellar below, and a cup of tea brewed strong and dark from leaves that travelled across oceans to reach this remote shore. Sitting by the window, the keeper watches the world awaken with the patience of one who has learned to find wonder in the smallest details. Fishing boats slip quietly from the harbour, their sails catching the first light like captured clouds. The fishermen aboard these vessels know the keeper's light well. It has guided their fathers and grandfathers home through countless storms and dark nights. Farther out, beyond the fishing grounds, a pod of dolphins arcs through the waves, their movements graceful and unhurried. A reminder that the sea is home to countless lives, each following its own ancient rhythm. The morning is a time of gentle transition, a bridge between the vigilance of night and the quiet industry of day. The lighthouse, its beacon now dark, stands watch over a world bathed in the soft glow of dawn. The keeper, too, stands watch, an observer of tides and time, a guardian of the fragile boundary between land and sea, a witness to the endless dance of light and water. As the sun climbs higher, the air warms and the colours of the world grow brighter and more distinct. Yet within the lighthouse, there is no rush, no clamour. The keeper moves through the morning with deliberate calm, each task a meditation, each moment a quiet offering to the day ahead. This is a life measured not in minutes or hours, but in the slow turning of seasons, the patient rhythm of tides, the gentle passage of light across the sky. The gentle breeze carries the scent of salt and wildflowers from the nearby cliffs, mingling with the faint aroma of burning peat from a distant cottage, where another soul tends their own small flame against the vastness of the world. The sound of distant church bells tolling the hour adds a layer of peaceful rhythm to the morning chorus of waves and seabirds, a reminder that even in this remote place, the keeper is connected to a larger community of souls. Outside, the rocky shore is dotted with tide pools, each a miniature world teeming with life. The keeper pauses to observe a cluster of sea anemones, their delicate tentacles swaying gently in the ebbing tide like underwater flowers in an invisible breeze. Nearby, A hermit crab scuttles across the sand, carrying its borrowed shell home, leaving a trail of tiny footprints that will be erased by the next wave. A reminder of the temporary nature of all things and the beauty found in each fleeting moment. The light shifts slowly, casting long shadows that stretch across the lighthouse walls, like the fingers of time itself. The keeper's thoughts drift to the generations who have stood in this very spot, tending the light through countless dawns, storms, and calms. Each keeper's story is woven into the fabric of the place, a silent testament to endurance and care, to the human capacity for dedication and love. With the sun now fully risen, painting the world in warm gold and gentle blue, the Lighthouse Keeper turns to the daily rituals that keep both structure and spirit in order. These tasks, performed countless times before, have become a form of moving meditation, each action deliberate and meaningful. The first and most sacred of these is the tending of the great lens, a marvel of glass and brass, its many facets requiring both care and reverence. This Fresnel lens, named for its French inventor, represents the pinnacle of optical engineering, designed to gather and focus light with unprecedented efficiency. The keeper approaches this task with the solemnity of a priest tending an altar. The keeper dons a soft cloth, specially woven for this purpose, and prepares a gentle cleaning solution mixed from distilled water and the finest soap. Moving with slow, circular motions across the surface of the lens, each pane is polished until it gleams, catching the sunlight and scattering it in rainbows across the lantern room. This task is not hurried. It is a labor of devotion, a communion with the very heart of the lighthouse. As the keeper works, the mind drifts, recalling stories of keepers past, each one a link in an unbroken chain stretching back through generations. Next comes the winding of the clockwork, a complex mechanism of gears and weights that turns the beacon through the night. This intricate device, crafted by master clockmakers, must be maintained with precision and care. The keeper checks each cog and lever, listening for the subtle sounds that indicate all is well, feeling for the smooth resistance that speaks of proper lubrication and alignment. With a few measured turns of the winding key, the mechanism is set, ready to guide the light in its endless dance across the waves. Outside, the day unfolds in gentle rhythms that mirror the keeper's own measured pace. The keeper steps into the small garden, tucked against the lee side of the lighthouse where it finds shelter from the harshest winds. Here, hardy herbs and vegetables cling to life in the salty air. Rosemary with its needle-like leaves and pungent fragrance. Thyme that releases its essence with each touch. A few struggling carrots whose green tops wave like tiny flags of persistence. The keeper tends each plant with care, watering where needed with precious fresh water, pulling a stray weed, marveling at the resilience of green life in such a harsh place. A light rain begins to fall, tapping softly against the windows, like gentle fingers requesting entry. The keeper returns inside, pausing to listen to the gentle percussion. Rain at the lighthouse is a blessing, a time for quiet reflection, for reading or writing letters, for watching the world grow soft and blurred beyond the glass. The sound of rain on stone and glass creates a natural symphony, each drop adding its voice to the chorus of the storm. The keeper sits at the small table, pen in hand, composing a letter to a distant friend. The words come slowly, shaped by the steady rhythm of rain and the quiet certainty of solitude. There is news to share, of passing ships spotted on the horizon, their flags and rigging telling stories of distant ports, of the changing weather patterns observed from this unique vantage point. of the small triumphs and trials of life at the edge of the sea. Yet more than news, the letter carries a sense of peace, an invitation to share in the slow, measured pace of lighthouse days. Lunch is simple but satisfying. A bowl of soup simmered on the stove, made from vegetables grown in the garden and herbs dried from the summer harvest, a crust of bread still warm from the oven, a piece of fruit preserved from last season's abundance. The keeper eats slowly, savouring each bite, watching the rain ease and the world brighten once more. This meal, like every aspect of lighthouse life, is taken with gratitude and mindfulness. Throughout the afternoon, the keeper attends to small repairs and maintenance tasks, mending a torn fishing net with patient stitches, oiling a squeaky hinge with careful precision, checking the supply of lamp oil and wicks that are the lifeblood of the beacon. Each task is performed with patience and care, a quiet affirmation of the keeper's bond with this place. These are not chores, but acts of love, ways of ensuring that the lighthouse continues its vital mission. As the sun begins its slow descent toward the western horizon, the keeper pauses to rest, sitting on a weathered bench overlooking the sea. This bench, carved from driftwood by a previous keeper, bears the smooth patina of countless hours of contemplation. The air is fresh and clean, the world washed new by the rain. Far below, the waves break gently against the rocks, their rhythm steady and eternal, a heartbeat that has pulsed since the beginning of time. In these moments, the keeper feels the deep, abiding peace that comes from a life lived in harmony with the tides. A peace born not of absence, but of presence, of being fully here, now, in the quiet heart of the world. This is a contentment that cannot be purchased or achieved through striving, but only through the patient acceptance of life's simple rhythms. Though the lighthouse is a place of solitude, it is not a place of loneliness. From time to time, the outside world reaches across the water, bringing news, supplies, and the precious gift of human connection. On certain days, a small rowboat appears on the horizon, its oars dipping quietly in the calm sea. The keeper watches its approach with growing anticipation, heart lifting at the sight of another soul making the journey across the water. As the boat draws near, navigating carefully through the rocky channels that guard the lighthouse, the keeper descends the rocky path to the landing, greeting the visitor with a warm smile and a steady hand to help secure the boat. The visitor, perhaps a weathered fisherman with stories of the deep waters, a postman carrying letters from the distant world, or a fellow keeper from a neighbouring light, brings with them the scent of the wider world. There are packages to be unloaded, heavy sacks of flour and grain, tins of tea and coffee, bottles of oil for the lamp, a bundle of letters wrapped carefully in oilskin to protect them from the spray. The keeper receives each item with gratitude, savouring not just the supplies themselves, but the connection to life beyond the horizon. Conversations are unhurried, shaped by the slow passage of time and the understanding that such meetings are precious and rare. Stories are exchanged, of storms weathered and calms endured, of ships sighted in the distance and their mysterious destinations, of the quiet triumphs and small sorrows that mark the days of those who live by the sea. There is laughter too, and the comfort of shared understanding, of knowing that even in solitude, one is never truly alone. The visitor might share news from the mainland, changes in the weather patterns, the arrival of new ships in the harbour, births and deaths in the small coastal community. These fragments of information are treasured, woven into the keeper's understanding of the larger world that continues its busy life beyond this quiet shore. When the time comes for departure, the visitor prepares to leave with the same careful attention to tide and weather that mark their arrival. The keeper stands on the shore, watching the boat recede into the shimmering distance, its wake spreading in a V shape behind it until the waves smooth it away. The return to solitude is gentle, a gradual re-immersion into the rhythms of the sea. The keeper climbs the path once more, the weight of supplies balanced by the lightness of renewed connection. Letters are read and reread, each word a thread binding the keeper to loved ones far away. Some bring news of family, children growing up in distant cities, old friends pursuing their own paths through life. Others carry the simple warmth of friendship, the assurance that distance cannot diminish the bonds of affection. Some letters are tucked into a box of treasures, photographs faded by time, pressed flowers from remembered gardens, small tokens of affection that carry the weight of memory. Others are pinned above the desk, a reminder that the world is vast, yet intimately connected by the invisible currents of care and memory. As evening approaches, the keeper finds solace in the quiet. The lighthouse, once again a world unto itself, settles into the hush of twilight. The sea, ever present, offers its own companionship, the whisper of waves against stone, the sigh of wind through the rigging of distant ships, the distant call of a lone gull making its way home to roost. In solitude, the keeper discovers a profound sense of belonging, not to a crowd or a city, but to the endless, ever-changing embrace of the ocean. Here, at the edge of the world, the keeper is both alone and at home, a solitary guardian whose light shines for all who journey through the night. This solitude is not empty, but full, rich with the presence of the sea and sky, the memory of visitors, and the anticipation of those yet to come. There are days when the sea is gentle, its surface smooth as polished glass, reflecting the sky above in perfect mirror images. The air is still, the horizon clear, and the world seems to hold its breath in peaceful contemplation. But there are other days, days when the wind rises from the depths of the ocean, the clouds gather like dark armies on the horizon, and the world is transformed by the raw, untamed power of the storm. The keeper senses the change before it arrives, reading the subtle signs that speak of weather to come, the shift in the wind from steady to gusty, the darkening of the sky at the edges, the distant rumble of thunder still far beyond the horizon. The barometer, that faithful predictor of atmospheric changes, begins its slow descent, confirming what the keeper's experienced senses already know. Preparations begin with practiced calm, each action deliberate and essential. Shutters are secured with heavy wooden bars, their iron hinges checked and oiled. Lanterns are filled with oil and their wicks trimmed to ensure steady burning. The beacon is lit early, its flame dancing in the gathering gloom, ready to pierce the darkness that will soon envelop the world. Loose items are secured or brought inside, and the keeper checks the supply of food and fresh water, knowing that the storm may last for days. Inside the lighthouse, the air grows tense, charged with the electrical energy of the approaching tempest. The keeper moves through the familiar rooms, checking each window and door, ensuring that all is snug and safe. The thick stone walls, built to withstand the fury of countless storms, seem to draw closer, creating a cocoon of safety in the midst of the gathering chaos. Outside, the first drops of rain spatter against the glass, large and heavy, soon joined by the steady drum of a downpour that grows in intensity with each passing minute. The wind begins to howl, a sound that starts as a whisper and builds to a roar that seems to shake the very foundations of the lighthouse. As the storm intensifies, the world narrows to the circle of lamplight and the overwhelming sound of wind and water. Waves crash against the rocks with tremendous force, sending spray high into the air, where it is caught by the wind and flung against the lighthouse walls. The structure shudders with each impact, yet stands firm, its thick walls and deep foundations built to withstand the fury of the sea. The keeper sits by the window, watching the tempest unfold with a mixture of awe and respect. Lightning flickers on the horizon, illuminating the churning waves in brief, ghostly flashes that reveal the sea's terrible beauty. Thunder rolls across the water, deep and resonant, a reminder of nature's vast and untamable power. The beacon continues its steady rotation, cutting through the darkness and driving rain, a defiant statement of human determination in the face of natural fury. Yet within the storm, there is a strange and unexpected peace. The keeper listens to the symphony of wind and rain, the heartbeat of the ocean magnified 100-fold. There is no fear here, only awe, a sense of being small and yet profoundly connected to the greater whole. This is nature at its most powerful and most beautiful, a reminder of forces that dwarf human concerns and put life into its proper perspective. As the hours pass, the storm begins to wane. The rain slows from a torrent to a steady patter, the wind softens from a howl to a whisper, and the sky brightens at the edges as the storm moves on toward distant shores. The keeper ventures outside, breathing in the sharp, clean air that follows in the wake of the tempest. The world is washed new, the rocks gleaming with moisture, the garden refreshed and green, the sea gradually calming as the waves lose their fury. In the aftermath, there is a deep and abiding stillness that seems to embrace the entire world. The keeper moves through the lighthouse, setting things to rights, drying wet clothes, lighting a fire against the lingering chill. The beacon shines steadily, its light a promise renewed, a testament to endurance and hope. The storm, for all its fury, has left behind a sense of renewal, a reminder that even in the wildest moments, there is beauty and grace. The keeper too is renewed, strengthened by the knowledge that storms pass and calm always returns. This cycle of turbulence and peace is as natural as breathing, as essential as the tides themselves. As the sun sinks below the horizon, painting the western sky in brilliant shades of orange and red, the world is bathed in the soft silver light of dusk. The sky deepens gradually from gold to purple to indigo, the first stars appearing one by one like distant lighthouses in the vast ocean of space. Their reflections dance on the tranquil sea, creating a pathway of light that seems to lead to infinity. The lighthouse, once again, becomes a beacon in the darkness, its light sweeping across the water in a slow, reassuring arc. This nightly transformation from day to night, from rest to vigilance, marks the beginning of the keeper's most important hours. The beacon that has rested through the day now awakens to its sacred duty. The keeper prepares for night with the same careful attention to detail that marks every aspect of lighthouse life. Lamps are lit throughout the building, their warm glow pushing back the encroaching darkness. Curtains are drawn against the night air, creating a sense of warmth and security within the stone walls. The beacon is checked one final time, its flame adjusted to burn bright and steady through the long hours ahead. In the quiet of evening, the keeper sits at the familiar desk, pen poised above the logbook. This daily ritual of recording has continued unbroken for generations, creating a continuous record of life at the lighthouse. The day's events are recorded in careful script, the weather patterns observed, the height and timing of the tides, the ships that passed in the distance, the visitors who came and went. Each entry is a thread in the tapestry of lighthouse life, a record of moments both great and small. But the logbook contains more than mere facts and figures. Between the lines of careful observation lies the story of a life lived in service to others, a testament to dedication and care. The keeper's handwriting, steady and clear, speaks of patience and attention to detail, of someone who understands that small things matter, that precision and care can mean the difference between safety and disaster for those who depend on the lighthouse's guidance. There is time now for reflection, for the gentle unraveling of thoughts and memories that the busy hours of day do not allow. The keeper recalls the laughter of a visitor, the beauty of the rain, the awe-inspiring power of the storm. There is gratitude too for the peace that follows, for the simple joys of solitude and the steady presence of the sea. The keeper's thoughts turn to the many souls who have passed this way, guided by the lighthouse's beam. Sailors returning home from long voyages, their hearts full of anticipation. Fishermen heading out before dawn, trusting in the light to guide them safely back. Ships carrying passengers to new lives in distant lands, the lighthouse marking both an ending and a beginning. Outside, the world grows still. The waves, once restless, now lap softly at the rocks, with a gentle rhythm that speaks of peace and contentment. The moon rises, full and bright, casting a path of silver across the water that seems to connect the lighthouse to the infinite reaches of the sea. The lighthouse stands, as it always has, a silent sentinel, its light a promise in the darkness. The keeper prepares for sleep, drawing the warm blankets close, listening to the lullaby of the ocean. This is a sound that has comforted countless keepers through countless nights, a constant presence that speaks of continuity and endurance. Dreams come easily here, carried on the gentle rhythm of the tides, filled with images of calm seas and safe harbours. As sleep approaches, the keeper feels a deep sense of contentment, a connection to something larger than oneself. This is more than a job or a duty. It is a calling, a way of life that connects the keeper to the eternal rhythms of sea and sky, to the long chain of guardians who have tended this light through storm and calm. The lighthouse will watch through the night, its beacon shining for all who wander the dark waters, its keeper at peace in the knowledge that the light endures. This night, like all nights, is a quiet celebration of life, light, and the enduring beauty of the world's edge. Good night, gentle traveller. May the steady light of the lighthouse guide you to peaceful dreams and safe passage on all your journeys. In the morning, the cycle will begin anew, as it has for generations, as it will for generations yet to come.